Hi there, and welcome to Wellness Unplugged. This is the space where we have honest conversations about life, mental health, and everything in between. I'm Lesley, a counsellor with years of experience helping people navigate life's challenges, and I'm so glad you've joined me today. Today we're diving into a topic that's relevant to nearly every parent and teenager: social media and screen time. Screens are everywhere, from tablets and smartphones to gaming consoles and computers. Our kids are growing up in a digital world. While technology has many benefits, it can also bring challenges, like overuse, disrupted sleep, or less face-to-face interactions. I know the society we live in comes with its own pressures: peer pressure, work pressure, and the ever-shifting family dynamics. But let's be honest, a lot of children today don't always want to go outside and play. They don't want to spend time with their lame parents, or even engage in traditional activities like sport or exercise. But if we are to protect our children from cyberstalking, online grooming, and the darker side of technology, we need to have open and honest conversations with them. And we admit, dinosaurs compared to them when it comes to technology. It is up to us to explore new tech and to stay as current as possible. It's not technology itself we should fear, but the misuse of it. We also need to address screen addictions because children, just like adults, can become addicted to social media, leading to anxiety, self-image issues, and even depression. Counseling can help navigate these challenges. In this episode, we'll explore how to strike a healthy balance. We'll discuss the impact of excessive screen time, the influence of social media, how to set realistic boundaries, and some practical ways to encourage children to connect with the world outside their screens. So let's jump in. Before we talk about solutions, it's important to understand why screen time and social media can be a concern. Here are some of the main ways excessive screen use can affect children and adults. Physical health. Too much time on screens can lead to eye strains, poor posture, and even headaches. And let's not forget about sleep. Screens interfere with the melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep. A recent study found that children who use screens more than 2 hours before bed have significantly reduced sleep quality. Mental health issues. Excessive screen time, especially social media, has been linked to increased anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem, particularly in teens. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok create these unrealistic comparisons and fuel a fear of missing out. We know it as FOMO. Cyberbullying is also a significant concern. According to research, nearly 37% of young people have been bullied online, and that percentage is only based on reported cases. Social skills and attention span. When children spend too much time on screens, they miss out on important real-world interactions that build empathy, communication skills, and problem-solving. Over time, this can affect their ability to form meaningful relationships and can even impact attention span, making it really hard to focus on schoolwork and other tasks. The pressure of social media. For teens, social media can feel like a double-edged sword. It connects them with friends, but also puts them under immense pressure to curate a perfect online persona. The constant need for validation through likes and comments can be exhausting and even addictive. Now, let me be very clear here. Technology isn't the villain. It's about how we use it, or should I say, how we abuse it. Screens can be educational, entertaining, and even a way to connect with loved ones. The key is finding the balance. Take a moment to reflect. How much screen time does your family have in a typical day? Are you happy with it? or does it feel too much? Let's move on to practical ways you can manage screen time without creating constant battle scenes. The goal isn't to eliminate screens altogether, but to set healthy boundaries that work for your family. Number 1, establish clear rules. Create a family media plan, if you will. Decide together on rules like no screens during meals or before bedtimes. Get the kids involved. They're more likely to stick to their own rules rather than some you've made up for them. Number 2, lead by example. Children model what they see. If you're glued to your phone, it's hard to ask them to put their device down. Show them how to take breaks and prioritize offline activities. Number 3, use technology wisely. Encourage apps and games that are educational or promote creativity, like coding platforms or interactive learning apps. Avoid mindless scrolling when possible. Number 4, create screen-free zones. Designate certain areas of your home, like bedrooms or the dinner table, as screen-free zones. This promotes better sleep and family bonding. Number 5, help teens manage their social media. Encourage them to curate their feeds by unfollowing accounts that make them feel bad about themselves. Talk about the importance of digital detoxes. Okay, in Mom Talk, a digital detox is like hitting the pause button on all screen time, phones, computers, and social media. It's like taking a breather from the constant notifications and scrolling to focus on things that actually matter, even if just for a few minutes a day. However, I understand. Getting teens to unplug is like convincing a cat to take a bath daily. But here's the thing. If you want them to digitally detox, you've got to make it feel less like a punishment and more like an epic challenge. Here are a few creative, real-world ways to get them to engage without them plotting an escape to their bedrooms. Number 1, the No Wi-Fi Zone Challenge. Turn off the Wi-Fi for a few hours and make a family competition out of it. Set a timer and see who can go the longest without checking their phone. Bonus points for anyone who actually engages with the family or gets a chore done without complaining. Number 2, take free dinner with a twist. Dinner time becomes the sacred no phone zone. But here's the catch. You have to tell a story about something that you did during your day. Mom and Dad, why not throw in some embarrassing stories from your youth? The bonus of this is that it will totally mortify them. Hopefully they'll engage for the cringe factor at the very least, and for laughs at the best. Number 3, the device swap game. Get them to swap their phones for a disposable camera for the day. If they protest, call it a vintage experiment. They'll have to capture moments the old school way. And who knows, may possibly end up using it as a new cool thing like retro Instagram or the like. Plus it's a win-win situation. You get some real-world memories and they get a break from screen-induced stress. The social media timeout. If they're glued to Instagram or TikTok, declare a social media timeout. But don't just ban it. Replace it with something unexpected like learning a magic trick together or making a ridiculous dance video you can laugh about later. Show them that real-world interactions are just as entertaining as scrolling through memes. Leverage their interests. Instead of banning screens, use them creatively. If your teen loves gaming, introduce them to game design. If they're into social media, encourage them to create content with a purpose, photography, video editing, or maybe even starting a blog. What about a host challenge night? Make screen-free time fun by setting up friendly competitions. I don't know, escape room kits, DIY cooking challenges, or scavenger hunts. Teens usually love a good challenge, especially if there's a really cool prize involved. Let them lead an activity. Flip the script, if you will. Ask your teen to teach you something new. whether it's a new dance craze, a TikTok challenge, to do a sport together, or even a tech skill. Giving them leadership boosts their confidence and certainly will keep them engaged. Lastly, tap into their future goals. If your teen has career aspirations, connect their screen time to real-world experiences. Interested in fashion? Let them design a clothing line. Love cars? Sign them up for a mechanical workshop. Make offline just as compelling as online. Balancing screen time isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. Teens may push back, and parents often feel guilty about their own screen use. But it's the small, constant changes that really make a difference. Setting boundaries, encouraging offline hobbies, and using screens as a tool rather than babysitters can significantly improve your family's well-being. It's not about banning devices altogether, but rather about finding ways to enhance your child's life with screens while making sure they're still experiencing the richness of the real world. After all, the goal isn't perfection. It's creating a healthier, more balanced digital life. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend or a family member who's navigating this rather tricky challenge. And, as always, I'd love to hear from you. What strategies have worked for your family? Is there anything you'd like me to cover in a future podcast? Drop me a message at info@lesleyharvey.co.za. Next week, we'll be tackling a big one: how to help children and teens manage anxiety in a world full of pressure. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. I'll leave you with this thought. The best way to predict the future is to create it. So let's help our children create a balanced, fulfilling life on and off the screen. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, unplug, recharge, and remember, your wellness matters more than you think.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.